everybody. So today is Sunday, that means it's time for family movie night, and this week we are honoring the new release of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 by talking about the original Guardians of the Galaxy for family movie night. And I had the chance to watch this film again on the big screen on Thursday, and then watch the new film after. I posted my initial thoughts of the new film on Thursday, but then I also did a long, detailed podcast with my friend Trevor from How to Love Comics last night, which was so much fun. So after you've seen the movie, you'll definitely want to check out that podcast. And I will be posting my review of the new one on my blog, I think tonight. I've been going back and forth because I was a little disappointed with it. It's not a bad film, but it was, in my opinion, this first one is much, much stronger. And when this movie came out, I think part of the reason why it really rang true to me is that I hadn't seen like a successful space opera in a long time. Really since maybe some of the original trilogy of Star Wars, because this was before The Force Awakens came out. And this felt a lot like Star Wars to me at the time. And you had kind of your princess in Gamora, you had your sort of Chewbacca character in Groot. You kind of have two Han Solo type characters. So it's not a perfect analogy, but it still felt like a sort of Star Wars-ish movie more than a superhero movie or Marvel movie. And I really liked seeing these characters come to know each other, come to get together, and I thought it was very funny, very well written. And as far as the dialogue and the jokes and the time that the pacing and the way that it was able to just sort of add a character and add a character and add a character and form this group that I really liked. And that's sort of the core strength of the movie that has like a super strong plot. There's a lot of places because they're basically either hiding the orb or looking out for the orb and trying to find the orb and stopping people like Yondu and certainly Ronan from getting the orb. So that's the story. So it's not like it has the strongest story in the world, but it's not really about the story. It's about the characters and about the journey that they're taking, getting to know each other and becoming this cohesive group of misfits and bandits. And that's what I think worked really, really well. And we'll talk more about the second one, but the combination of personalities that you had, you've got Drax that takes everything super literally. You've got Rocket, who is sort of the scoundrel, like he wants to do things that will just sort of make people upset and frustrated, and he gets sort of pleasure about that, which is really fun. You have Star-Lord, who is sort of sarcastic, sort of, you wouldn't necessarily maybe trust him the most, but he's a lot like, I think, Captain Kirk in Star Trek. He's got a heart of gold, he has good intentions, he wants to be respected, just like Kirk, but he's also got that sort of smart aleck side to him. In this movie, like I said, they're all searching for this orb, they're all trying to find this orb, and so Ronan is the villain character, and he has these two daughters of Thanos that are there. He's trying to find the orb for Thanos, and we don't know until way into it that the orb is an Infinity Stone. And so that kind of becomes interesting. Like once Ronan finds out that it is an Infinity Stone, then all of a sudden he's less willing to sort of follow through on his promise and plans to Thanos. And he wants the orb, he wants the Infinity Stone. And then he gets it at a certain point, puts it in his hammer, and we get the sort of final sort of battle scene where he's going to destroy this planet with this now that he has the Infinity Stone, he has all this power, and all about the Guardians gathering together and trying to stop him from doing this is pretty simple. If you were going to make complaints, you have the characters like the Glenn Close character, like John C. Reilly character, that I think are supposed to get a lot of heart because their families were saved and protected, but they feel a little bit underdeveloped, and I think they could have gotten more heart maybe if we'd had a few scenes getting to know them a little bit better. But I think that it still is, you still get enough, and it's not a huge problem for me. And I think that Ronan could be a little bit more interesting, but he's fine. You know, he's certainly not the worst Marvel villain, that's for sure. But he does the job as just sort of a bad guy, and a bad guy who actually gets power. Now in this film, I actually kind of liked Nebula. I thought that there was sort of a wounded quality to her, and that she is, no friend of Thanos, but we don't really know what's going on with Nebula and where her loyalty lies, but she still seems kind of conflicted and wounded, and so to me she was more interesting than Ronan in this. And Karen Gillan is, I think, pretty good. She doesn't get a lot to do with her character, but I liked her in this. I know a lot of other people didn't. I did. Of course, you have great vocal performances in here from your Vin Diesel and Groot. And Groot, of course, becomes the major heart in the story because he obviously isn't, he can only say, I'm Groot. But it's kind of like Chewbacca has a lot of heart in Star Wars. But he's the one that ends up saving everybody. And he also is the one, there's the scene where you get all of the light that Groot provides, and that sort of firefly sort of scene. And, so he's a very hopeful, very peaceful character, especially in contrast to Rocket. Now, Rocket, I think, also has a great vocal performance from Bradley Cooper, does a great job, and the special effects are flawless on both of them. I think great. And the movie looks really beautiful. It has this beautiful palette of bright colors, which was really nice to see in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it was nice to see a movie that just sort of felt different. It's not in our world. It's not like in Chicago or New York, like the Avengers, was, or Russia, like Ultron. It just feels different. It's sort of maybe similar to Asgard feel in the Thor movies, but this, just zipping around, lots of creative sets, lots of creative things that it does, and so I really appreciated that. Also, of course, the soundtrack, one of the most popular soundtracks ever. I love it. I listened to it like nonstop that summer and continue to do so. I think that what they did so well is that none of the songs feel really on the nose. They just sort of fit, but aren't like perfect as far as the lyrics and other things like that. And they're just so catchy, so they draw you into the story. And since it's a gift from Star-Lord's, from Peter's mother, I think they have a little bit of heart too, because it feels that's something that she loved and that he loves because of her. I just love it. I think it is just such an entertaining, well-paced, fun movie experience. One of my favorite Marvel movies for sure. And so I give this movie an A. I really, really like it. And so let me know what you think of Guardians of the Galaxy in the comments. And thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!